The Miami Dolphins are making waves in the NFL rumor mill, and it's not just about their offensive firepower. The buzz surrounding the potential acquisition of Nick Bosa has the Dolphins fan base fired up, and for good reason, with one of the most dominant defensive players in the game potentially heading to South Beach. The excitement is palpable. Could Bosa's arrival be the final piece the Dolphins need to take their defense from good to elite? With the stakes higher than ever, fans and analysts alike are eagerly speculating on what this move would mean for the team. Bosa, the 2022 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, has been nothing short of extraordinary since entering the league. Known for his relentless pursuit of quarterbacks and his ability to dominate on every down, Bosa has been a force for the San Francisco 49ers. Over the past seasons, he's racked up impressive stats. 10.5 sacks in 2023 and a 9 in 2024 to go along, with a host of tackles, forced fumbles, and pass breakups. The Dolphins, who have already invested in a high-powered offense, are now looking to bolster their defensive line, and Bosa's elite ability could be the game changer they've been searching for. However, it's not just Bosa's statistics that have the Dolphins intrigued. The possibility of pairing him with emerging stars like Jalen Ramsey and Jalen Phillips gives Miami one of the most fearsome defensive units in the league. With a dominant pass rusher like Bosa leading the charge, the Dolphins' defense could be positioned to disrupt opposing quarterbacks and control the pace of games. Adding Bosa would also provide a much-needed boost in the trenches, allowing the Dolphins to compete more effectively against some of the league's top offenses, particularly in a loaded AFC East. While it's still uncertain whether Miami can finalize the deal, the Dolphins are clearly doing everything they can to make this dream a reality. With Bosa's recent 5-year, $170 million extension with the 49ers, a trade or acquisition would require significant financial maneuvering. But if anyone can make the numbers work, it's the Dolphins front office, which has shown a willingness to take bold moves in the past. It's clear they're not content to rest on their laurels. They won a Super Bowl, and Bosa could be the catalyst for a championship run. Nick Bosa's resume speaks for itself, but it's his intangibles that make him such a prized target for a coach like Mike McDaniel. Beyond the sacks, pressures, and accolades, Bosa brings a rare combination of leadership, work ethic, and relentless motor that aligns perfectly with the culture McDaniel is building in Miami. His ability to read plays before they develop and adapt mid-snap has made him a nightmare for offensive coordinators across the league. McDaniel, known for his attention to detail and emphasis on discipline, sees in Bosa a player who not only elevates those around him, but also sets the tone for the entire locker room. What makes Bosa so unique is his explosiveness off the line of scrimmage. Few players in the NFL can match his first step. And his technique, honed during his time at Ohio State and further polished with the 49ers, is textbook for aspiring defensive ends. He combines speed with power in a way that allows him to beat both agile tackles and power linemen. Bosa doesn't rely on just one move. He has a full arsenal of pass rush techniques, from bull rushes to rip moves, making him unpredictable and nearly impossible to contain for 4 quarters. That versatility is exactly what McDaniel values as he looks to bring more complexity and aggression to the Dolphins' defensive scheme. It's also no surprise that McDaniel, with his ties to the 49ers organization, has a deep appreciation for what Bosa brings to the table. Having seen Bosa's dominance up close during his time as San Francisco's offensive coordinator, McDaniel knows exactly how disruptive the edge rusher can be and how much game planning he forces opponents to do. For McDaniel, bringing in Bosa isn't just about strengthening the defense. It's about adding a player who changes how other teams prepare for Miami entirely. His presence alone commands double teams, freeing up opportunities for other defenders to shine. Ultimately, Bosa is more than just a splashy addition. He's a foundational piece for a team with championship aspirations. Mike McDaniel's push to bring Bosa to Miami reflects his belief that elite talent on both sides of the ball is essential to making a deep postseason run. The Dolphins already have playmakers across the roster, but a player like Bosa can elevate the franchise into the realm of true contenders. If this move becomes reality, it won't just be a win for the Dolphins, it'll be a statement to the rest of the NFL that Miami is all in on winning now. As the offseason progresses, all eyes will remain on Miami. Will the Dolphins land one of the most feared defenders in the NFL? And if they do, what kind of impact will Bosa have on their already talented defense? The prospect of Bosa joining the team is undoubtedly thrilling for fans, but it also sets the stage for a more intriguing season ahead. If the Dolphins can seal the deal, the rest of the NFL will have a lot more to worry about. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up. Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. There's something brewing in Miami, and it's not just the ocean breeze or the buzz of off-season training. Behind the scenes, the Dolphins are staring at a pivotal moment that could reshape the franchise for years to come. It starts with whispers, the kind that come from back rooms and insider calls about a name once celebrated, Jalen Ramsey. The Dolphins and Ramsey are reportedly exploring trade possibilities before the NFL draft kicks off. And if you listen closely, you can hear the tremors of a much deeper issue shaking the foundation of this team. This isn't just about one player. It never is. In the NFL, names like Ramsey don't just move quietly. When a team considers moving a talent of his caliber, it sends a signal, loud, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. Something's not right in South Beach. You don't entertain trading a 6-time Pro Bowler unless you're ready to take a hard look in the mirror. For the Dolphins, that reflection hasn't been pretty. Over the last few seasons, Miami has danced on the fine line between contender and disappointment, never fully committing to either side. They've lingered in a no man's land that football purgatory knows all too well, the middle of the pack. Not good enough to challenge the league's elite, not bad enough to blow it all up. But now, after the stumbles, the missed chances, and the unraveling promises, the calls for something drastic are getting louder. And here's the twist. It's not just fans calling for change. The sentiment is creeping into the media, analysts, and even the inner circles of the NFL. There's a growing sense that the only way forward might be through the fire. Not a simple retooling, a full-scale rebuild, a scorched earth approach that raises the house down to its bare studs and dares the next leaders to build it back from scratch. Remember 2019, that was when the Dolphins stripped it all down, trading away talent, stockpiling picks, and promising something brighter. It was painful, yes, but it had purpose. And perhaps the greatest irony now is that they might have to do it all over again. The cycle threatening to repeat itself. Only this time, the names are different, the stakes higher, and the patience thinner. Omar Kelly, a voice long familiar to Dolphins fans, put it bluntly. "Put on a brave face," he wrote, "and hope a crop of 20 rookies brings energy, enthusiasm, and hunger, keeping what's left of this team from bleeding out." Bleeding out, strong words. But that's the imagery now circling around his team. Not thriving, not growing, just trying to stop the hemorrhage. Kelly didn't stop there. He called the situation for what it is, a string of missteps by a leadership group that may have reached the end of the road. Empowering and paying Ramsey only to watch him turn away in just 2 seasons is merely the tip of the iceberg. A trade of Ramsey wouldn't just be a personnel move, it would be a signal flare, the end of a vision that never quite materialized. The Dolphins dreamed of building around stars, of creating a defense that could smother opponents and a speed-driven offense that would leave defenses gasping. But what they ended up with was inconsistency, and now indecision. And here comes the real problem. Who will be trusted to rebuild? In theory, a franchise can survive a reset. It can come back stronger, but that only works if the right hands are steering the ship. And many in Miami are questioning whether Chris Grier is the man to do it. His track record, dotted with controversial picks, botched signings, and now potential star departures, doesn't inspire confidence. If you ask longtime observers, Grier has overstayed his welcome. One of the NFL's most criticized executives, his tenure has become a lightning rod for frustration, keeping him in charge of what could be one of the most consequential rebuilds in franchise history. That might be the most dangerous gamble of all, but it's never that simple, is it? NFL franchises, with all their layers of politics, pride, and power plays, rarely move cleanly from one era to the next. Firing a general manager, shifting philosophies, rebranding a culture, these are more than decisions. They're seismic shifts. And for Miami, a team that spent years trying to recapture the magic of its glory days, each move feels like another spin of a roulette wheel. High risk, high reward, or total collapse. Now the Dolphins sit on the edge of something massive. The NFL draft looms large, not just as an opportunity to add talent, but as a deadline of sorts. If a Ramsey trade is going to happen, it'll likely come before or during those 3 chaotic days in April. And what follows that? No one can say for sure. Maybe a full rebuild. Maybe a desperate attempt to patch the holes and compete one more time. What's certain is this. The Miami Dolphins are at a crossroads. Every team hits one eventually. The great ones rise from it, redefine themselves, and surge forward. The rest, they fade, stuck in the middle, remembered only for what could have been. So now we wait. Will the Dolphins light the match themselves? Or will they drag this version of the team into another season, hoping something finally clicks? All eyes are on Miami, and as the days tick down to the draft, the suspense grows. Not just about Ramsey, not just about trades, but about the very soul of this franchise, and whether anyone left in the building knows how to save it. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week?